This is Call of Plastic. It is pandemonium here in the war room with 6 different colors and 6 different flags and a host of military equipment. We have orders to recon the Liberty Imports 120-piece military bucket. This set features an array of plastic soldiers and a host of vehicles spanning land, sea, and air, and a few props. Let's recon! So anyways, I set the bucket on the table, start filming my B-roll just like I always do, and then it occurred to me, I think I've seen this artwork before. That's when I went back and started to rewatch some of my older videos, and there it was, the 180-piece bucket from Fun Little Toys. That packaging features the same artwork. Not only is the artwork the same, but it also features the same German molds, as well as the jets and the Pershing tank. And going back to the artwork, the observation I had, and the same one I had for Fun Little Toys, was the fact that this guy reminds me of Scott Mitchell. That's, of course, from Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter. You can see the similarities in the gear and stance. It's almost kind of holding the gun the exact same way. We take a look at the rest of the artwork. We see a fighter jet, looks like maybe an F-15 there, and we get a little preview of the contents inside the bucket. Coming around this side, we see another guy holding an M4 type carbine. The lid features a carry handle. Carry handle is quite sturdy, so it'll definitely hold up to some rough play. Now what's interesting about this is the fact that there is another lid on the bottom. So you have a bottom lid. So 2 ways to deploy here. I've never seen that, so that'll be cool. All right, let's get to the deployment. And we're gonna, you know what? Hold on. We're gonna go from the bottom. How many times do you get to deploy from a bottom lid? There we go. All right. Yes. Great pile of army men there. Nice contrast of colors. So many different colors. The 6 different colors of the armies as well as the flags. And this guy playing the bagpipes was able to land right up. Here at the overview, we see that there are actually 4 different types of molds. You have the German molds, the American molds, which you see here in gray, and then you have the Japanese molds, the pink guys. Then you have British molds, which are these blue guys down here at the end. So again, 4 different mold types. The Germans are featured in 3 different colors: green, tan, and red. So the other point of note is that the American, British, and German molds are actually replicas of Matchbox. The Japanese appear to be replicas of Airfix. So I think every army was supposed to have at least a dozen soldiers. The Greens are the only ones that have 11. Everyone else has 12. The Amazon store page claims this has 120 pieces, but I can only count 107. So besides a few numbers that are missing, we take a look at the vehicles. The vehicles have some decent quality to them despite the molds being so cheap looking. This APC and a tank, and then we have these jets over here. Looks like we have 2 different sizes of jets. Kind of have these smaller jets and then these 2 medium jets, this dark green and tan here in the back. Then we have a couple of naval assets, these 2 silver guys. We now move on to the inspection lineup, beginning with the German molds. These are based off of Matchbox, specifically the Africa Corps set. I will say that while the molds are cheap replicas, they are consistent, so the quality control is good. There's no missing limbs, missing parts. And they offer, somewhat of a decent amount of detailing, given what they are, given the price. You see gear that would have been reminiscent of the time. And the other thing is that you'll see the last guy that's coming around. He's holding an ammo box, but there's no machine gunner, so that's kind of unfortunate. So he's just kind of like holding ammo up, but maybe he could be used for one of those crouching gunners. Now, the Blue Forces, aka the British molds, here they are prepared for desert warfare. You see shorts and those high socks, similar to their German counterparts. So there's 12 soldiers each, but I do believe the 12 are randomized. You can see there's only one of each of several of these figures. So now we take a look at the pink forces, or the Japanese. This guy wielding his sword here. That would have been a terrifying sight, I'm sure. Well, everything else appears to be from Matchbox. These are based off of the Airfix models. So there's minor amounts of detailing along the front and the back. The weapons feature some very crude detailing, but you see somewhat of contours on the weapons here. And lastly, we move on to the American forces. These based off a Matchbox. The two riflemen here appear to be aiming downward, and that's true for the bazookaman. The machine gunner appears to be aiming straight. As with the rest of these, they offer crude amounts of detailing here with the clothing wrinkles as well as the weapons. Take a look at the kneeling rifleman here. He appears to be aiming upward, while the submachine gunner, looks like a grease gun, appears to be shooting at a level height. Now we take a closer look at the soldiers. We start with the Americans. Here's the rifleman. You can see some of the detailing along the back. Now we take a look at the front. And again, you see some of the crude details that are in the equipment and the gun. Here is the AT model. He's taking an aggressive stance, and you can see some gear pouches along the back. The Japanese guy here is actually quite cool. Again, not as good as the original, obviously, but still quite intimidating. Doing some literal saber rattling. The crouched rifleman is a bit more of a solid design. He has a level aim point. You can see gear along the back, maybe some ammo pouches, canteen. And, of course, one of my favorite molds of all time, the bagpiper, his instrument of morale and his kilt of confidence. You have the light machine gunner wielding a Bren gun, it appears to be. He's got a large backpack and more gear along the back. Now we'll take a look at the German officer. This mold has always reminded me of Erwin Rommel. Next up is the rifleman, standing rifleman that is. Plenty of combat gear along the back and outlines of suspenders. We'll take a look at the front. We see that he is wearing shorts and those high socks, same as his British counterparts. He's definitely prepared for hot weather warfare. You have the red figures. They're the same molds as the other tan and green Germans, but this red looks to be translucent to me. I think it might be a different type of plastic. About broke it. They appear to be about as brittle as the rest of the molds. Installation. Beginning with the land vehicles, we take a look at the tank based off of the M26 Pershing. This is a medium-sized tank, and it features actually a decent amount of detailing. Hatches along the top, including the commander's cupola, and there's also panels running along the side skirts. The turret rotates 360 degrees very easily, so it's a nice clean design. It doesn't get snagged on the hull. We see it's like an army star, the words firing on top. A couple of more details along the turret. Nice side profile. And then we have this little gun sticking out the front. I appreciate the tracks. The tracks all feature little indentions along the bottom. Wheels all on the bottom that rotate easily. No matter what I think of the soldiers, this tank, in my opinion, is actually pretty good quality. Next, we take a look at the anti-air vehicle. Now, this is actually a hybrid of two separate vehicles. The vehicle itself is based off of the Chinese WZ-551. This turret here is actually from a French turret. Comes from the Crotal. Now, that's in French. I could be butchering that, so I apologize. But needless to say, there is a good amount of detailing with this vehicle. You see these hatches along the front. Then you have this very buoyancy-looking side profile. Wheels underneath have metal axles. Detailing along the back includes these two propellers as well as a hatch to get inside. Special thanks to my friends over at the Army Men homepage on Facebook for helping me to identify exactly what this vehicle is. There are two warships that come with this set. The first one here, it appears to be based off of the Russian Moskva. It's angled missile pods lined up on either side. The plastic used has this nice metallic finish, so it is silvery, not just gray. The kind of nice Russian flag kind of lines up in the background there perfectly. So identifying the first vessel as Russian, I scoured through some pictures of more Russian vessels. This one I can't quite identify. Looks to be a type of cruiser. The back here could have potentially a helipad. So definitely check comments below for what this guy could be. And we fly on over to the jets, featuring several different colors: red, blue, yellow, green, tan. We start with this F-22 looking jet here. We've got the US markings on the wings, wheels on the bottom. Some more detailing along the top. Side profile features a full body design. Up the dark green F-14 Tomcat. I say the F-14 because you can make out where the wings are able to fold back and go into the high speed mode. Again, decent amounts of detailing along the top. USAF. So whereas the tan and dark green are medium sized, the other colors are the smaller size. So here we have the blue jet. That looks like a thinking MiG-29. The yellow jet looks like it's cartoony looking, but it looks like it could be a type of a Sequoia 30 or 33, even though it says F-12 right here. So I've not been able to identify this light green aircraft just yet, but it does appear to be some type of attack role with missiles along the sides. Finally, we get to this sleek-looking red jet paneling along the top. If I had to take a guess, this is either an Su-27 or Su-35. All of these small jets feature this wheel platform thing on the bottom. And we take a look at the props. We have 2 flags, 6 sandbag emplacements, 6 barbed wire pieces, including the 6 flags and their bases. The sandbags are only left-sided pieces. You see that there's 7 layers high. Then on the left side, they go down to 5 layers. But ideally, they're supposed to actually have 2 pieces, one that mirrors the other. Then we have these 6 barbed wire pieces. These are pretty much standard in this silver color. They also remain a degree of flexibility. Then the 2 trees. The trees are kind of narrow on the side, but they feature an acceptable amount of detail. Flagpoles consist of the flag pole itself and the base. The base is of the same red color as the Red Army. Also, the flags are actually featured on both sides, so you have the left and right side with stickers on them. And for our last objective, we reach the buoyancy test, featuring the 2 ships and the anti-air vehicle. Can they stay above? There's only one way to find out. First up, the WZ-551 SAM vehicle. It looks buoyant, but it also has a huge void right in the middle, so if water gets in there, it may dip below the surface just a little bit. Floats just fine. Let's see how it can handle some rougher water. All right. Just submerge it, see if we can get some water to go in there. Not bad. Appears to be holding up pretty well. Not bad. Oh, it tips over. Oh, it tipped over. Oh my goodness. So that ship goes right over on its side. All right, let's try the next one. Well, we'll see if this is wide enough. Oh no. So they are staying above the water. They're floating, just not upright. See if we can equalize the water, keeping this submerged. None of the, let's see, none of them are sitting upright. So I'm going to say they halfway passed the buoyancy test. Not a bad set. I just wish there was, in fact, 120 pieces over the 107 that we got. Hope you found this review informative and entertaining. And if so, please like, comment, and subscribe. I'm Bill Greenwater. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.